Well, let's talk with the Media Research Center Director, Eric Scheiner. Eric, welcome to Victory News.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
All right. The attorney for Rachel Morin's family spoke out this morning about Victor Martinez Hernandez and his conviction, saying it was a decision against more than just this murder. Here she is.
This is not only a conviction for the murder, but this is really a conviction for the Biden administration, because they're the ones that allowed the border to be open and allowed this man to come across. Remember, he crossed 3 times and he was caught those 3 times, expelled back to Mexico, but was able to get across the border for a 4th time. And not once did they ever get any information about him. That would have been crucial in this investigation.
He now faces a sentence in Maryland of life in prison without parole, but he's a murder suspect also in El Salvador, where he's a citizen. Could you ever see a scenario where he's extradited to his home country to face the murder charges and serve out the sentence there?
Oh, yeah, I think that's extremely possible. I mean, just yesterday at the White House, President Donald Trump floated the idea while talking to the El Salvadorian president that that maybe some homegrown criminals could be sent to prison in El Salvador. If that could be legally done, it was something that was worth looking into. It was actually brought up by the president of El Salvador. So I could see a situation where if the president of El Salvador requested that this man come and face trial in his country, that President Trump would facilitate that, as long as the understanding is if he's found not guilty at the trial, that he somehow gets sent back to the United States for punishment.
All right. You're MRC Newsbusters. Well, you're reporting today that ABC, CBS, and NBC devoted far more time to Trump tariffs and market declines than booming job numbers. Give us the details.
Well, the details really are the numbers on the bias. It's incredible. We looked at ABC, NBC, and CBS nightly and morning flagship newscasts. We did it from April 2nd through April 11th. Over 7 hours was dedicated to covering the tariffs between the 3 networks, but you get just 45 seconds when it comes to the good news of the economy, the consumer price index going down, gas prices going down, things of that nature barely get mentioned. They focus solely on the negative. I mean, it's basically 62 times more negative coverage on the economy. You would think if they were that focused on the economy to give it 7 hours of negative coverage on the tariffs, they could certainly do a little bit more on the positive sides of the economy.
Yeah, you would think so if you're going to be honest about it. CBS Morning was covering the Blue Origin launch with their own Gayle King on board when they got a lesson in DEI from a former NASA astronaut. Here it is.
So explain to our audience why even a trip like this one, all the trips that we take into space benefit mankind.
So it benefits humankind, and I'm going to keep correcting the mankind and the man-made and the man missions, because this is exactly what this mission is about, is expanding the perspective of who does space.
Well, let's see if we can manage this question. What's your reaction to the woke lashing Dr. Jemison gave the CBS host?
Well, as you can see by my reaction, it's completely laughable. She's all humankind. Humankind and mankind is all encompassing. This is a silly hill that leftists like to fight and die upon, is these pronouns and the words and the terminology, and no one really feels that passionate about it.
Now, Politico is reporting that Joe Biden wants back in the game and is inching back onto the national stage. Today, he will give a speech in Chicago, and not all Democrats, Eric, are happy about it. Is this the voice that Democrats have been waiting to hear in the midst of their declining poll numbers? What say you?
I'm going to say probably not, especially with all the books and the media reports you're seeing that have been coming out over the last few months saying that Joe Biden wasn't really in control of the White House. The Biden administration in its final years was not under his control, that other people were influencing and putting things before him and making the decisions. But right now, Democrats are desperate for any kind of voice for leadership. I'm not sure if the Democratic Party knows who their leaders are right now. So Joe Biden obviously taking advantage of that situation and trying to make a play.
Yeah, he is. Now, there's a problem on the border between California and Mexico, and it's causing pollution and sickness in San Diego. Now, listen to County Supervisor Jim Desmond describe the issue that's gone on for decades.
About 13 miles of this culvert that emanates from Tijuana, right through the middle of Tijuana. And you can see all the trash, the tires, the sewage. Unfortunately, I'm actually standing on dried sewage. This is a travesty. This needs to stop.
Needs to stop is right now. Eric, Navy SEALs who trained in Coronado have been moved to Oceanside for training because too many have gotten sick from that Mexican sewage. Is it time for the Trump administration to step in and stop the raw sewage problem over there?
I think if any administration can step in and take care of it, it's the Trump administration. They should do something about it. Now, there's been some arguments that this is something that should be done with tariffs. I don't see tariffs being the right leverage to deal with the sewage problem, something maybe the State Department or someone else could look into. But again, I think it's time for the Trump administration to do something. And I think if any administration can handle this, this has been going on for some time, it's definitely the Trump administration.